Hey, how you doing? Just me. Just me. Mr. Invisible. I cannot remember the name of the guy's channel, but he had the best channel name for a targeted individual. I can't remember what it was. It may have been the Invisible Man. Seems like what I am, invisible. Can you believe they actually let my channel have a couple views? And I wasn't sharing San Joaquin Valley Video Thieves channel for views. I share it so people would know what's up. I was waiting for the trolls to come out and start attacking me over it. It is what it is. Anyway, I have to confess something. Last week I decided I was going to go on a fast. So I started fasting. I didn't eat anything for breakfast. It's easier to fast in the mornings than it is it morning or night? I can't remember if I started my fast in the night or in the morning. Anyway, started to fast, and then I got home that afternoon. I had already forgotten. I didn't eat anything all day. I had already forgotten I was on a fast, and I went and started eating ice cream. I was like, oh gosh, I gotta quit. So I quit eating ice cream. So no solid foods. I went 3.5 days without solid foods until last night. And a fast, you're supposed to pray and seek God, and I didn't do it. I didn't pray and seek God. So the fast, although it had good benefits for my health, it didn't have the spiritual benefits that it should have. And I could have went a lot longer, because really, hunger never bothered me during the fast. It never bothered me. Now, let's pray that there's nothing wrong with me. I made a conscious decision to fast, so pray there's nothing wrong. But back in biblical times, I mean, Jesus fasted for 40 days and nights. It's a long time without food. And he may have went without water, I just can't remember. But fasting, as I am, the food didn't bother me. Going without, it was the routine. It's getting up in the morning and getting my body ready to move, and then getting up and going and cooking and eating. It's the art of the meal. It's like when you quit a drug. You quit drinking, then you got to find something to fill in your time not drinking. So that's the hard part, because I want to stay in my rule. I enjoy cooking. I like cooking because I can cook bacon, egg, and cheese faster than any person on the planet. I mean, that's a lofty thing to say, but anybody else in my kitchen doing it, I'm the deal. I can do it. So I did good up till last night. Oh yeah, people, your tire's flat, so your idea is to leave the door open in the middle of the room. Probably not the best. So I did good until last night, when Mason and Tina's always like this. They're always bouncing around, picking and playing and loud and back and forth. And Mason just never sits down. Literally, you could put him in a 2x2 square box and he'll walk the carpet out of it. So it didn't take me till last night when I was like, okay, I need to eat something. Because I mean, I've dealt with the dizziness, I've dealt with a lot of the effects of not eating, but hunger really wasn't one of them. But I gave in last night after 3.5 days. My body aches has went down. I don't hurt as bad not eating. I mean, the food we eat, food Americans eat poison. I get it. I don't eat unhealthy. I eat as healthy as I can. I'm a carnivore, so I eat a lot of meat, eggs, bacon. I eat a lot of pork. I love pork. So I got the health benefit of not eating, but I didn't get the spiritual benefit. So like I said, last night I gave in, and I just went in there. I'm throwing stuff. I ate like 4 chicken wings, and I threw a bunch of chicken in a pan, because I'd laid the chicken out last week when we went to the butcher shop where I buy all my meats at. I got like $200 worth of meats for like $56. Was it $50? Yes, because I sold some to my son-in-law. So that worked out great. But I had this chicken in the refrigerator, and it was needed to be cooked before it went bad. So I went ahead and just fried it up. I'm slinging chicken. Oh man, I forgot it's still in the oven. Anyway, I made 2 big old burritos, and I got the first one down and didn't even want the second one. So I decided right then I'm just going to fast again. I'm going to fast again, and I haven't put God first this time. But I digress. Fasting good for you. You need to do it. when the crap hits the fan, if we're not in America, we're going to be annihilated. They're going to drop nuclear bombs on every major city. Is going to have a nuclear bomb dropped on it. So we're going to be murdered. I think from all the visions and dreams and all this that people have had, that it's going to be that the rapture is going to happen, and then China and Russia is going to start dropping bombs. Pretty sure that's the way it's going to go. So if you don't make the rapture, you're going to die from the nuclear fallout. But I got some responses from is that my daughter? Got a lot of responses from my video and my video about DirectD and about San Joaquin Valley. Because I criticize a lot of these guys doesn't mean I don't appreciate their work. I don't appreciate anything San Joaquin Valley Transparency does. Nothing he does I appreciate. Not one thing. He has never filed a lawsuit. I don't recall that he's made maybe one complaint on an officer. That's it. I know he's made a lot of copyright strikes and censorship and shut down channels. I know he's done a lot of that. But when it comes to a lot of all of the auditors out there, I'm critical because, man, if you're just going out there and you're getting violated by cops and then doing nothing about it, what are you doing? I'll tell you what you're going to do. Eventually what's going to happen is they're going to start making laws that stop us from exercising our right. And I find nothing more disgusting than illegal immigrants that come to America unlawfully and illegally. They come here and then they abuse our rights to redress our grievances. I think that's despicable. Let me try to go to Mexico illegally, unlawfully, without a freaking permit, without a visa. Let me go there and bitch to their politician. They would bury me out back, leave my head up out of the ground just so they could say, look, you shouldn't do this. So that really gets me. And this is another thing. These First Amendment auditors, and this isn't political when I'm telling you, I'm just speaking factual basis. Any First Amendment auditor in America right now that dares to say, I'm fighting for the First Amendment, but I'm voting for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, that's a fool. That is a hypocritical fool. I don't care what you say, there was not one inkling of a second that Donald Trump tried to silence anyone from speaking. Not one person did Donald Trump say, okay, contact the CIA, contact the Facebook, YouTube, contact them all and tell them we're going to censor these people. Never happened. Didn't happen. Now, he could have done a lot more for the First Amendment. He at least invited, he was the only president to invite YouTubers to the White House and hear their concerns. And it was only people from the right. Because people on the left are not being censored at all. I get censored above all else. Because I'm, according to the left, I'm wrong about everything. Everything about me is wrong. My color, my height, my skin, my genitalia, everything about me is wrong when it comes to the left. So, here's your basis. These morons that want to say, Donald Trump's a tyrant. Literally, they have charged that man with over 90 felonies, and he didn't do anything wrong. And if you want to come on my channel and tell me what Donald Trump done wrong, then I will show you document proof that everything he did that he's been charged with is BS. Just like the documents case where they opened up the door of Mar-a-Lago when they were raiding, and they looked down to the ground and look, it's classified on that row of papers, and it's classified on that row of papers, and it's classified on that row of papers. It was all a setup. It's just like this morning. I don't know if you guys remember. I had that Chevy van, a custom van. Nice high top van. Man, I wish I still had that thing. That thing was sweet. Never got to put it on the road to enjoy it. Sold it. I gave $500. Was it $500? $900. I gave $900 for it. New fuel pump, tuned it up, cleaned it, dyed the carpets, shined it up. I can't remember if I put tires on it, but I took it looking like garbage to beautiful, and I think I got like $4,800, I think. I can't remember. Those channels have been removed, of course. So the guy I got it from, this dude is an inventor, and he invented some kind of vaccine. I think it was a vaccine. Anyway, this dude's rich, like Ferrari, 2 Jaguar V12, I think it's 267 Jaguar V12s in the basement. Might have been 3. One was convertible, one's a hardtop. Rich. And he absolutely despises Donald Trump. And he keeps putting all this junk out there about Trump being like Hitler, like he's a tyrant, and he's taking away everybody's rights. And he posted a video he posted a picture of a Marine with a sign, and the sign said, "I will never stand in front of the grave of American servicemen and put my thumbs up unless I outlive him. Or even if I outlived him." And what they're speaking of is the latest debacle where Donald Trump went to, the name was right there on the tip of my tongue, the military cemetery in Washington, D.C. RAAA, you know what I'm talking about, where my Uncle Bill's buried at. The military, the big military graveyard. You guys know it, I know it. I can't, anytime I go to video, boom, it's like a brain block. Anyway, Donald Trump went there and he took pictures with his thumbs up. He made a political deal out of them poor soldiers being buried there. It almost came again. And I already watched the video of the mother who asked Donald Trump to come over and help her with the wreath to put on her son's grave. I'd already watched the video debunking it. And what happened is the mother asked the worker at the graveyard to take the picture of her and Donald Trump together, her and her father together. She asked the people working at the graveyard to take the picture. So the people at the graveyard go and leak the picture to PBS. PBS is the Communist News Network. They're no different than CNN. They hate the right. They're left. I don't know why Donald Trump should have shut down, took their funding away and shut down PBS, Public Broadcasting Network. It's the left broadcasting network. It should be named LBS. Still trying to think of it. You guys already got it in the chat. It was all a lie. The whole thing was a lie. That picture was leaked intentionally to hurt Donald Trump. So I go on there and I go find the video where the mother is literally on Newsmax saying, "Listen, I asked him to come. We families together, we Gold Star families, asked Donald Trump to set the wreath with us, to take photos. We asked him to do that." Because guess what? Joe Biden didn't show up. Kamala Harris didn't show up to the military graveyard. And it was the deaths that happened because of Joe Biden. When he, I don't know, left, I heard one number was $40 billion worth of the best military gear in the world. And then Sean Ryan, who is a Navy SEAL, who has a channel, he said it was like $80 billion of the best military gear in the world. And we just walked away. We left our troops there. 13 American soldiers lost their lives. So it was a lie. It was all a lie. And I share it. I mean, he hasn't responded. He won't respond unless he's calling me dumb or I'm stupid. I've just fallen for Donald Trump. I will just tell you the facts. I voted for Trump. And I do have a lot of reservations. And he could very well be the Antichrist in waiting. He could be. It doesn't match up to who the Antichrist is going to be. And I've told you my reasons why. I think the Epstein being evacuated, Epstein didn't murder himself. He's dead. Epstein's back on his island. I'm not going to go into that. But Donald Trump has lost over $2 billion. $2 billion. Not to mention, if he is elected president, they're going to put him in prison. They're going to put him in prison for not breaking the law. They changed the law in New York City. The statute of limitations to let that whack job claim that Donald Trump sexually abused her when she never said it to anyone. Never said a word to anyone. And they didn't get Trump for raping her or for graping her. They fined him because it was supposedly slander because he defended himself. Just like the documents case was all set up. Presidents can take any document from the White House they want and deem it unclassified. They can change the classification. Guess who could not do that at the time? Joe Biden, because he wasn't president. He was vice president when he stole all the classified information. It was at Penn State. Penn State, who takes his biggest contributions from the Chinese Communist Party. It was in his garage. I mean, he shared all of our military logistics with the world. He took billions of dollars from around the world. And then when they actually convicted Joe Biden on the documents case, classified documents case, and guess what they said? I shouldn't say convicted. They said, absolutely, he had them and shouldn't have. But he's old and frail, and he's just got a bad memory. So, no time for you, no punishment for you, Joe Biden. This wasn't about this, but here we go. It's a lie. So all the people that want to say, oh, the hell with Donald Trump, he's a tyrant, name one thing that he did to take away your rights. Now, one thing that I can think of is the bump stock ban, which was struck down by the Supreme Court. And by the way, the Supreme Court said we are now allowed to have machine guns. Woo! The SCOTUS of the United States of America. I think it was 6-3. Says that we American citizens have the right to bear machine guns. Good things, good news. So, as far as the frauditors out there are many channels I'll watch and a lot of channels I do not. One of my most hated channels, I cannot stand him. Cannot stand it. I'll back him and I'll make phone calls on his behalf, but I cannot stand Enrique. Auditor in America, 100 million combined views. If you ever want to torture me to death, besides the torture that happens to me on a daily basis, force me to listen to Enrique talk on a loop. Auditor in America, 100 million combined views. You put that on a loop, and it will make my ears bleed until I die. He's a frauditor. He never sues. I don't think he's ever sued. If I'm wrong, please share the link. Don't know if he sues. I know he doesn't make complaints. He just goes out and gets violated because he's rude and obnoxious and makes American citizens look like garbage. There's several more that I don't like. One is, as soon as I thought about it, it's not Jay, not the Cuban Jay in Florida. It's his cousin or nephew. He's got one called "In God We Trust," I think, or I don't know his name. I do know his name. I can't think of it. He ran with Lana a couple times. I got all the names in my head, and now I'm blanking out. I don't like his channel because he's rude too. He's a criminal. He's a criminal, and he just goes out and abuses our American rights, our God-given rights that my forefathers fought for. He abuses them. Many more. I don't like these guys. There's one, I think it's maybe Kansas City something or other, or Midwest Audits. I can't remember which one, so don't quote me on it. But this dude goes out and makes fun of abortion protesters. Wait a second here. Wait a second. You're for the First Amendment, but you want to attack people using the First Amendment? There's got to be a little consistency here somewhere. I don't think murdering a baby is it's not a constitutional right to murder your baby. Sorry, it just isn't. And even with Roe versus Wade, it never should have been at the federal level to begin with. But there's many auditors that I do like. Many. And I appreciate Direct D. I ain't gonna kiss his ass. But there's auditors that get things done and auditors that are just out there creating noise. I told you about Rogue Nation. When he first started posting, I'm like, but are you going to follow through? I'm like, until you tell me you're going to follow through, I ain't going to do nothing. I owned that bike. I had the first one on the East Coast, Nystrom. First one in 07. Anyway, and then I talked to George on the phone. I was like, dude, are you going to sue? Yep, I'm suing. Here's a lawsuit. Boom. I said, all right, I got you back. So there are lots of auditors that I enjoy. There's a lot I don't. There's certain things that I like in people. I like a guy's going to stand up and stand strong and not be intimidated, not going to be run off. I get it. It ain't worth getting arrested for. I mean, it's worth it, but It ain't worth the hassle, considering it take 10 years to get a little bit of money. Jeff Gray, I'll back his ass any day of the week. And you can say what you want about News Now Houston. I saw Texas Sheepdog, Jack Miller. He and a couple other people said that the trial against David from News Now Houston, he said it was fixed from day one. It was all set up. David messed with big oil. He messed with Shell. He messed with the police unions in Texas. And the police union director, the little Pee Wee Herman looking dude. We're going to come. You want to stir the pot? We're going to come and we're going to hunt you down and we're going to take you down. Well, they took David down. They silenced News Now Houston. Another guy I don't like, PayPal Patty. I do not like Patrick. For one, he is a devil worshiper. Now, I'm not telling you that he's got the devil tattooed in his arm. Oh, wait! He's got the Moloch owl tattooed on his arm. He is a Freemason. That's how he does as much as he does without getting arrested. And he does have some serious issues. I've got people on the inside track that know him very, very, very well. And I don't know if he's since cleaned his act up, but he had issues with nose candy and gambling in the middle of the night. But as he screwed Jack Miller over repeatedly, he stole Jack's channel and got away with it so far. I hope he got his act together. I hope he did. But now he's using David's videos, and I don't know if he's got David News Out Houston's permission. But he tried to steal Jack's. He stole Jack's channel from him and took the money. So my feelings about people are correct. I'm telling you, you ask the people that know me, that's my kids. That's the one I live with. And she hates it. She cannot stand it how right I am about people. You want another credit report about somebody? Send me a video of them for 10 minutes straight, and I'll tell you who's a rat and who ain't. I can spot a snitch a mile away. How? Because I didn't have felonies before I met snitches. I didn't have felonies until I met snitches. So there you go. As far as First Amendment auditing, man, that's a nice XJ. I think it's XJ. Is that XJ or YJ? I think YJ's the two-door Jeep, right? Anyway, squirrel. If you get violated, I'm on the phone. Go to Google review pages for all the larger channels, and I'm there. Targeted Citizen, right there. I'm there. I'm making phone calls. I'm calling everyone. I'm making complaints. It's like a Tyrant Terminator. Before he got beat up here a couple months ago, I love watching Tyrant Terminator. James, love watching his channel. I backed him a lot. I called one police guy, police guy said, oh, well, I talked to James off camera. He told me he makes $5,000 a month off these videos. And he's just doing it for money. If James is going to say that, he ain't going to say that to a cop. He might say it to one of his homies, but he ain't going to tell a cop that. And that brings me to the biggest news story in auditing in the USA. James Madison. Mark Richardson or Mark somebody. His name's Mark. His real name's Mark. James Madison, what you know him by. As soon as I heard the story, I knew it was BS. The first news, and it's a shame that Sean Porter brought it out, that shared the body camera footage. It's a shame he did, and he shared all the information. He requested it all, and he's got it, so he shared it. You got to call strikes and balls, but I don't believe it. Supposedly, James Madison told his wife to find his phone, and when she found it, she went through it and found photos that James had been having a little extracurricular fun. And I'm sure that his wife was very, very polite and nice and meek. And I'm sure she didn't look at her two small kids and say, oh, of course this isn't your dad's girlfriend who's butt naked sending nudes to your dad. Of course she didn't do that. Of course she's an innocent little female who just got her feelings hurt, but she didn't do anything wrong to James. She was just trying to be an upstanding mother. You blow that out your ass. I've been on that side. I know what it's like. 50 domestic violence orders right here. Ask me how many times I put my hands on my ex-wife. Ask me. I'll tell you. So many I lost count. A woman who knows how to run the court system is more dangerous than a woman with a nuclear bomb. So in the video, supposedly, James asked his wife to find his other phone because he has several, one for work, one for home, blah, blah, blah. And his wife finds it, goes to the phone, which she should not have done. He should not have been cheating if he was cheating. So he supposedly gets mad about it, goes, cleans the bank accounts, is gone for 2 days, comes back home, trashes the house, and supposedly, from the police report, tell me if this makes sense. His wife, as meek as she can, and I'm not demeaning her, I'm just telling you my experience with women when it comes to domestic violence orders. The second sentence she tells the cops, "Oh, he's very angry. I'm scared for his safety, and he's armed, and he's a former law enforcement, so we should be careful. I'm worried about his health, even though he's cheating on me." You smell a rat yet? So when the video come out, I'm like, well, tearing up your own crap is not against the law. It's not against the law to tear up your own crap. You can tear your whole house all to pieces. As long as you ain't filing an insurance claim on it, that's legal to do. So I typed it in there, and then Sean Porter puts on their police report. She's like, "Oh, he pushed me and put bruises on me." Sorry, guys. Pushing someone doesn't put bruises on them. I mean, it doesn't. And if you grab a woman by the arms, do that. But see, my ex-wife had a cool technique. She'd do this. Like that. And I'm going to jail. That easy. I'm going to jail. Why? Because that looks like what? That looks like I grabbed her by the throat and grabbed her by the arms and forced her away, don't it? That's exactly what it looks like. Exactly what it looks like. So, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. And James will have his day in court. More than likely, it's going to get thrown out. Okay? But everything she said and did in that report was to destroy his channel and his ability to be a First Amendment auditor. She did what she could in spite. Because listen, within 2 weeks, she may be begging him to come home, or he may be begging to come home, and they make it all up. They make it all up. See, when it comes to domestic violence situations, they shouldn't have a law. They should have a 48-hour cool down period, because all the times that my ex-wife did this crap to me, 50-some times, she had me locked up on Friday, and I was out of jail on Monday, and then when the court date come, she wouldn't show up for court while I'm standing there, and the prosecutor drops the charges. There should be a 48-hour cool down period, because listen, when you're upset and you're angry, you're not thinking straight. But even worse than that, when the person that you've committed your life to hurts you, the emotions are everywhere, and you're not a sane person. Right? I'm going to pause this, come back. Give me a minute. So, you're insane. When you're going through that issues, and especially somebody's being, I mean, when you got infidelity involved, I mean, it sucks. I'm not a cheater. I don't cheat. Used to be a cheat. Not a cheat anymore. And anybody says, well, yeah, that person that wants to cheat, always cheat. That person's a liar. That person's a liar. Just like to say, well, there's one man that abuses his wife is always going to be an abuser. That's not true. And there's many different forms of abuse. So let's stop with all the rhetoric. The rhetoric is not needed, especially in this situation. But I want to call it a dirty move for Sean Porter to, somebody's going to post the videos anyway. We're all going to find out about it. But just James Madison, I've been hard on him because he was a cop. And it takes a special kind of person to be in law enforcement. And special kind, I mean, not in the brave kind, but for you to take on a job that requires caging your fellow American citizens, that's a pretty big deal. If you've got the ability to cage another person and you feel good about that because they got the wrong sticker on their car, because they got a headlight out, or because they can't afford to pay a bill to the king, that's a problem. So any person that's willing to cage another human, I don't have any respect for you. Sorry. I have compassion. And when I see somebody hurting, I think the video that touched my heart the most, because I've been there and done that, the video that touched my heart the most was one, and you may have seen it, it came out last year or maybe a year before that. And it's this white guy, and he's about 30 years old. And he's got an old Ford F-250 long bed. It's a rough looking truck, and you could tell the guy was poor. He's just doing the best he can. But he got pulled over, and I think maybe the tag was dead on the car. And here he is talking to the cop, and he's like, man, please don't take my freaking truck. He said, I don't have any money. You're taking everything. I can't work. I can't feed my kids. And the guy's on the side of the road crying, bawling his head off. And these cops had not 1 second of compassion for this man, just begging not to be robbed by the Yahtzees in blue. I mean, I felt so angry and so hurt. And I do. I mean, you can ask. I mean, Mason will tell you, it affects me. I'm an empath. I feel when I see people that are in pain. And I've always had a bad habit. It's a bad habit, is telling God, Lord, if you could just give me some of their pain so they don't have to suffer. Well, I opened up my big mouth, and God did that, and I've been stuck with it ever since. So if you're in pain and I'm watching your video, it hurts me too. But when I saw that guy have his truck stolen from him, because he just couldn't afford another $100. I mean, he just got his truck fixed and back on the road, and they're going to steal it from him again. So